Welcome back to my G1 Retro Reviews. Today, we're taking a look at the original Transformers series episode, B.O.T. In this episode, some annoying kids build a robot or something. I don't know. Do I really have to suffer through this episode? Alright, fine. I guess if we want to get to Transformers the movie, we have to do this one first. This episode begins with the Combaticons combining into Bruticus, before quickly being one-shotted by Defensor. Man, how did we go from Bruticus being this unstoppable monster in The Revenge of Bruticus to this joke of a combiner? Meanwhile, Megatron is cooking up his next scheme.
Once we have blasted the Earth's moon out of orbit, we will be able to control the tides with Soundwave's new device. Then we will flood the canyon, creating a nearly limitless power.
Wait, so Megatron wants to knock the moon out of orbit so that they can control the tides, which will somehow flood a canyon, making a waterfall, where they'll build a hydroelectric dam? But the tides are going to... Why don't you just... This episode is giving me a processor ache already, and we haven't even gotten to the kids yet. Meanwhile, Swindle needs to fix his comrades, but he ends up trading some of their parts away and ditches the rest in a dump. So how is he supposed to rebuild the Combaticons? There's that processor ache again. The Decepticons catch him and force him to rebuild the Combaticons, like he was supposed to.
Soundwave is installing a bomb in your head.
And if you haven't reassembled Bruticus in 15 hours, it will go off.
Oh, so that's where Amanda Waller got the idea from. Swindle manages to reassemble the Combaticons, except for Brawl's personality component, which I believe in modern terms we would assume is his spark, or the component that houses his spark. Meanwhile, at a school, two boys, Martin and Ronald, show that they're scientific troublemakers. Their teacher partners them up with a girl, Elise, which is when they spot the Protectobots rolling to the rescue in order to try and put out a building on fire. This gives the kids the idea to build their own robot. And while the other two are working, Martin comes up with his contrived acronym and the title of this episode. They assemble their robot, which kind of reminds me of TikTok from Return to Oz. With Brawl's personality component installed, B.O.T goes on a rampage. The kids call the Autobots.
Hey, bright boy, how are you gonna find them?
Yeah, they're not listed in the yellow pages.
We'll let the computer do the walking.
I've got a distress signal. It's coming from a one-level brick structure with the inscription Benjamin Franklin Pierce High School.
And Bumblebee, Gears, and Ironhide chase B.O.T around. And, well, let's just spare both of us some more processor aches and skip to when Swindle finally gets Brawl's personality component back. So, Brawl and the Combaticons are back to normal, but the kids aren't done meddling, and they are able to eavesdrop on the Decepticons, and they warn the Autobots about their plan. And, to make a bad episode a little shorter, the Autobots are ready for the Decepticons when they arrive. And with the help of the Protectobots, as well as the kids and their bot, the Autobots defeat the Decepticons.
Looks like the rocket's busted open again!
Sorry about your robot.
Anyway, we could always build another one, don't you think? You guys wouldn't have any spare parts lying around that we could use, would you?
Oh no, we've been down this road before. In fact, didn't this season start off with Autobot Spike? So I guess in a very, very small way, this kind of acts as a bookend to this season. Well, this was a terrible episode of G1. I mean it. I am not a fan of this episode. I wish that this was more of a showcase episode for the Protectobots. Instead, we spend most of the time with these annoying kids. Swindle does get a bit of character development on his own, something that would be expanded on much more in Transformers Animated. But I really wish that they had worked on this episode more and cut out the kids. Why not have the Protectobots try and track down Swindle instead? We did see them fighting at the beginning, if you can call getting one-shotted a fight. I think that they should have built up the Protectobots more as the arch-enemies of the Combaticons, much in the same way that the Aerialbots are for the Stunticons. And they should have let the Protectobots demonstrate their own personalities and abilities while tracking down Swindle, rather than spending so much time with these one-off kids. Well, what about you? What did you think of this episode of G1? Let me know down in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and do all that other fun stuff. And I'll see you back here next time for the Japanese special episode, Scramble City. Yes, before we get to Transformers the movie, I thought we'd take a look at the Japanese exclusive episode that takes place between Season 2 and the movie. So I'll see you back here in a couple weeks for that one.